and welcome to our Morning Throners podcast.
I'm Glow.
I'm Nelson.
And I'm Jeff.
We're the fucking Morning Throners.
Welcome back, everybody, to this midweek edition of the Morning Throners. We are sitting right at the midpoint of Season 8, just on the brink of the ruins that will be the Battle of the Winterfell. We just want to hit on some, possible theories that are still out there, how we think it's all going to end up. But first off, we're going to start with our kind of reaction to the first 3 episodes, and then we're going to lead into the trailer for episode 4, talk about some possible theories that are still out there, and then give you our bold prediction of who sits on the Iron Throne. So, let's go.
All right, well, first I want to remind everybody that if you write into us, we will talk about your theories on the podcast. We have a lot of fan theories today. We'll be shouting those people out on Twitter as we get to that part. But we're going to start with the review, like Jeff said, then get into the trailer, then we'll get to the fan theories about the rest of it. So, what do you guys think? I know we've given our ratings. Why don't we just each re-say what we rated the episodes, and if you would, now that you've had time to sleep on it and think about it, if you want to change anything.
I'll have to try and think back to what I said. I think I went 7-3, 8-4.
You were mad at us for giving like 6s in.
I gave a 7. I gave a 7 on the first one.
I gave a 6-7, and Jeff was like astonished.
No way you were higher than me. No, I was in the 6s for sure.
You were like 6-2, 6-3.
Right
Jeff.
here, I'm gonna cut in us going back in the first episode and just shove it in Jeff's face how stupid and wrong you are.
You're 6-3.
I think
I was 6-3.
I think I was 6-7 and Nelson was way high. Nelson was like 7-8.
You were so mad at us, Jeff. You were like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are idiots.
Fuck this. I'm bringing it up right now.
Give it something out of 10. Score out of 10. Jeff, you go first.
6.3.
I was gonna say 7.
Yeah, I'll go.
Rookie score.
I'll go like 6-7.
Okay, so I'll say what I was. I think I was 6-7. Then I gave the second one an 8.5, and then I gave the third one a 9.1. I think I'm gonna stick with the first 2 ratings. Maybe even give the first one a little bump. Here's what I originally thought, that those first 2 episodes were basically filler. But when you think about it, like, we've been watching these characters for 7 seasons. Like, we've been waiting for them to get back together and reunite. And maybe it's now that I've seen the 3rd episode and it was a little bit of a letdown, like, oh wow, we just took care of the Night King. Like, it wasn't easy, but 1 episode and he's done. It kind of makes the whole lead up of like, oh, we're all gonna die. Like Tyrion saying, I think we might live, and everybody laughing. Like, why was that funny? You all lived. None of you in that room died.
Every single person in that room died.
Yeah,
or lived. Sorry.
So like, it kind of, the 3rd episode takes away from the first 2 episodes, but I'm not gonna. Like, if I had to deduct points, I would deduct points from the 3rd, not the first 2. Because I think that's the fault of the 3rd, not the fault of the first 2. I think the first 2 might be better than I originally thought. Because those reunions are great. We've been waiting for that for 7 seasons. The 3rd episode, by kind of just being a little bit underwhelming story-wise. Very underwhelming story-wise.
Yeah, not enough people dying, for sure. That's a little... I'd have to agree with you on the 3rd one. I mean, I might put that a little bit lower than... I mean, it's still a good episode, but I don't think it's...
The battle was awesome. The directing was great. I have a lot of problems rewatching, and a lot of them we covered in our first review. But I'm gonna go through it right now because I've been getting fired up the more I watch this episode. Right off the bat, why do we have the Dothraki up front?
Doesn't make sense.
And their plan is to send the Dothraki to fight the White Walkers. Before Melisandre comes up, they have steel swords, which will not do anything to White Walkers or Whites. Nothing. You are literally going to send all of your army to not do anything. You can't kill them. You can slice them in half, but then you just have 2 halves of a zombie. You can't do any damage. Same with Ghost. You are sending Ghost, who has teeth.
He's not going to kill anyone.
In the first season, he can't kill a White. Jon has to light it on fire to kill it. Ghost cannot do anything to Whites. Neither can steel swords. They don't know Melisandre's coming. Okay, She comes, they light it on fire, then they send the Dothraki into the battle. They all start dying. Dany looks at Jon's like, all my people are dying. You knew you were going to attack with the Dothraki. What did you think was going to happen? They were just going to cut through the 100,000 dead? No! They were obviously going to die. You cannot be surprised by that. Think instead of feeling. Like, use your head instead of, like, Like, I'm with you guys. The first time, I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. This is so cool. The lights on the swords going out. But no, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. The entire episode, the trebuchets are in front of the infantry. The infantry and trebuchets are both in front of the huge pit. Why the fuck are they in front of the pit? When they light the fire, it only gives them only 5 minutes of time. Like, it's basically useless. The 5 minutes, you should be putting people on the walls.
Jeff did say the trenches were too short.
Imagine this. So say the trench burns for 5 minutes. It buys them 5 minutes of time to retreat and go in. Okay. Say you put 1,000 people on the walls. Say 2,000. Each one can shoot say 10 arrows a minute. What's that? 1 arrow every 6 seconds. It's impossible to miss. There's so many. It's literally impossible to miss. 1,000 people are getting 10 kills a minute. What's that? 10,000
That's a lot of
arrows.
5 minutes. That's a lot of arrows.
50,000 people you
It's
can
a lot
kill. They have that time. Guja's just making arrows for days out there. Do something. You can literally take out half of the army if you were shooting. If you have 2,000 people shooting 10 arrows.
All right, Nelson, take a break. I'm going to jump in and agree with you just in a more relaxed manner for all of our viewers who don't want to hear you screaming for 3 minutes. So just take a break. We'll get back right in here. So I just watched the video actually today while I was eating lunch about how bad their attack actually was. Starting with the Dothraki, starting with the trebuchets being in front of the Unsullied, and then even the Dothraki charging out of range of the arrows. Anyone who knows that the enemy has more numbers than you, you'd want them to come into everything you have, and you wouldn't want, like you said,
waste
if
that
anything,
many people.
Those trebuchets should have been behind the walls, if not right at the wall, so that you could continue to fire them no matter how close they were getting or how many of your lines fell. Continue to go off of how stupid they are. They picked the wrong castle to defend.
Well, in the books, no. In the books, Winterfell has 2 separate pairs of walls, both 100 feet.
All right, but even there's a better castle from this video, and it makes sense because of how much more numbers they have than you, and it's Moat Caitlin.
Well, yeah, because you can funnel them. But the thing is, Moat Caitlin's better from defending from the south. I was thinking about this too.
But
why?
If it's at Moat Cailin, they might just bypass and go straight to fucking King's Landing or some shit.
That's true. But I was thinking.
See ya.
What I was thinking was, why are they at Winterfell? Once they have Dany's buy-in, they should be, and they realize Cersei's not coming. They should be like, all right, Cersei's not coming. We're all gonna go to the Iron Islands right now. Theon's there. He knows Ara's there. We're gonna take the entire Northern Army to the Iron Islands. Guess what? The Night King's just gonna go south and fuck up Cersei. Then you can come back and take what's left of her. Pull a Cersei on Cersei. That would be cool.
Yeah, but they would have a million fucking more. They only have 100,000 right now.
Yeah, and there's a million people in King's Landing. I get it. Good point. But there's other options than just defend Winterfell and do it horribly.
Yeah, I mean, their plan of attack was not good.
Yeah. All right, let's not spend too much time on it. We get it.
We've already covered this.
Yeah.
But so
they weren't very smart in their war council. Let's just say that. For all the smart minds that they had there, all the battle-tested warriors, pretty stupid.
Well, who's been saying it's been more Hollywood lately instead of actually
your boy? It is Hollywood, and I think they are more worried about pleasing fans but then again, they're also pissing off fans that want to see the Game of Thrones that brought you Ned getting his head chopped off and the Red Wedding and the Pearl
Once
Wedding.
They started diverging from, once
the book,
passed George R.R. Martin, they were kind of screwed. I mean,
anybody watching this probably knows that there's a big split in this episode. It seems like a lot of the casual Game of Thrones fans are all about it, love it. And then there's people like us who are a little more diehard, and we pick apart the plot because some of it doesn't make sense. And especially book stuff, like the Arya prophecy about the eyes, it's not in the book, right? So it doesn't really make sense for the book fans who that kind of came out of nowhere.
Even her seeing the Red Woman
didn't happen.
I mean, yeah, the witch.
The Red Woman.
The witch was terrified of her in the book.
Yeah, it was the
Woods
child
Witch.
of the forest, the Woods Witch.
The Woods Witch, yeah.
Right. She was terrified of Arya, so she knew some bad shit was going to go down with her, but, I mean, yeah, nothing like the eyes theory that we'll talk a little bit.
I think that's why they had that conversation in the show with Melisandre and Arya, is because we didn't get the Woods Witch one.
Right.
So I think is a good point.
Well, let's keep rolling.
So Just one other thing to the Hollywood point before the next thing's going to be we're going to get into the trailer for season 4. But one other point, there's a split between people who are kind of unhappy with this episode, and it all comes down. People are blaming Dave and Dan, who are the showrunners, and I'm not going to say anything against them, but I think because I think if it was one of us, right, and we were in charge of continuing on past George's books,
that's got to be extremely hard. It's extremely, yeah. I mean, think about the pressure.
They've said in interviews before they're kind of more focused towards the casual fans because there's way more of them, right?
Right.
Like pleasing the 1,000 or 10,000 book fans or whatever you have, right?
Isn't going to make the greatest show of all time.
Major book spoilers ahead. If you ever plan to read the books, skip to time 12:05 now.
So I get that, but they do a couple things that I'm going to point out that they do for shock, that they put in that these two creators put in the show for shock factor, that they just want you, like, they want that Red Wedding feeling again and again. One is they send, at the Red Wedding itself, they send Rob's wife. In the books, Rob's wife's not there.
Yeah.
Second, Marcella dies. Marcella's not dead in the show, or in the books.
Yeah.
Right? These are just like gut punches that they hit you with because they can. Sansa goes to the Eyrie, or goes to Winterfell. I don't know if that's as much as a gut punch as it is, fuck, we don't have a Gene Poole in our story. Who are we going to give to Ramsay? But it's kind of for that emotional factor when Sansa gets raped. Like, it's that gut punch.
You start to feel bad, because at that point, I really don't care for Sansa.
Yeah.
I think she's actually probably the coolest she is right now. But you start to have a little bit of sympathy for her there.
I'm just saying that these guys it's not a new thing for them to stray from the books in order to get a gut punch feel, but and to kind of surprise the audience. And I feel like that's what they did with this Arya thing here. And we'll get into that a little bit more right after we talk about the season 4 with some of the fan theories. So now I'll pull up the trailer for episode 4 and we'll start. I'll share my screen so us three can see it, and then I'll put it live on the same time in the back of my video.
Are we going to talk over it while it's playing, or do you just want to be quiet right now?
We'll be quiet right now, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Sounds good.
We have won the Great War. Now we will win the last war. We'll rip her out root and stem.
Let's win the last war.
All right. So, there we go. We just watched it. What do you guys think? What we got?
A couple things that I just want to hit on, because I actually was jonesing for a little Game of Thrones, and I watched the trailer again 2 days ago. One, Dany is definitely in charge in this next War Council meeting with everybody in charge. You know what I mean? She's head boss. At one point, she looks like she's walking away, and she looks really upset. It's just like a really quick still frame of her. Looks like she's walking away. Looks like she's upset. Either, I'm going to say, she's trying to get through some tough waters with the Jon relationship there.
So one thing I realized in this trailer is they pull a trick on us. They give us 2 cuts of Dany back to back. One at her table, with Melisandre, I think, Varys or somebody's next to her.
Happy as shit.
And she says, we're going to win the last war.
Right.
Then it cuts to her at the dinner table going, huh. No, that's a different scene. She's wearing different clothes in a different environment.
No, really?
Yeah, the North is going unbelievably wild.
But it makes it look like they're wild about winning the last war. The North is not going to want anything to do with going to fight Cersei. They just fought the biggest thing in their life. They all died.
No, I don't know.
The scene we'll watch it again, but the scene with Dany in the War Council, I bet you it's
it's definitely a completely different room. It's brighter, and it almost has a different castle feel to it.
I bet you the Northmen going, hurrah! I bet you that's after she says, we just fucked up the Night King, and they go, hurrah! It has nothing to do with the Cersei battle.
You don't think they...
I'm not saying that they don't end up going, but I'm saying they are not on board at first. No way. Why would you be? You don't give a fuck about this shit. You have what you want.
Because you've seen her flying. You saw her flying her dragon around when all hell broke loose and everything was going erupt, and she was the only one out there flying around. Not the old King of the North, Jon Snow. Daenerys Targaryen was flying around on top of Drogon.
I mean, Jon was too for a while.
Bullshit. He was parked in the Weirwood
He was
jungle
parked-
for a good 10 minutes.
He was
not
waiting
helping.
for what's his name to come. He thought the Night King was going to show up.
Bullshit. He was scared.
That was the plan.
Danny also provided a dragon to the enemy, which fucked them up.
Oh,
They
she
might remember
saved
that.
Jon Snow for that sacrifice. Come on. All right, next
I'm just
thing.
saying.
Next thing I want to point out the dragons are flying over a ship. Whose ship is that? Is it their ship traveling, or were those dragons doing a little
A little dirty work?
They're going.
dirty work?
Yeah, they're definitely.
So, I've watched this trailer like 10 times, and one of the scenes with Drogon flying, I think it's when they're like about to light the pyres in front of the castle. You can see there's a hole in Rhaegal's wing. Don't know if it's gonna matter. He's not he's not 100%.
It'll heal.
Next
Stitch it up. Stitch it up.
game.
They have 2 months until they get to King's Landing.
Yeah. So, what about King's Landing? We saw some stuff in King's Landing. We see
Euron
Cersei.
is definitely still.
Do you think Euron proposes? Do you think he proposes?
He's getting
or
on her
something?
knee.
Nah,
He's
Cersei-
kind of already proposed. Like,
Yeah, it's out
He just
there.
said I'm
And,
knows
going to put
what
a
he
baby
wants.
in you.
and Cersei has said not till after the war.
yeah. So, when he's getting on his knee, I bet you it's like, I will always bend the knee for my queen, or it's some bullshit about like bending the knee to her. Not in a maybe it's like a play on marriage and queen, but
It's definitely
not.
a sarcastic remark. We don't even know. People don't really propose in Westeros. It's all
It's like
arranged.
kind of arranged.
They're not
Yeah,
proposing.
you're right.
She does not look pregnant. Like, I don't know how much
No.
time has passed, but she's not
Right.
getting like big.
I think that was a ploy to keep Jamie around. Just like, I mean, she had her 3 kids. There's no more. The
Yeah.
prophecy would have said 4, or just would have said kids. You know.
That's true.
Besides that, so where they're going by ship somewhere. Where they go?
Yeah. I don't understand why you would go by ship. I feel like you don't want to
It would
see.
take forever.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be separated though. That would be bad.
Well, yeah, I think they're all going by ship.
And you don't want to face the what's it called? The Iron Islands fleet, the Iron Fleet.
Yeah.
You'll get fucked up.
Yeah.
They got a bunch. I mean, we don't even know how much they have left. How much of the army is left? There is a clip of a bunch of Unsullied walking.
Yeah, but how do they have that much, dude? I felt like they
it
got
makes no
fucking
sense.
hammered.
They're just gonna pull that out.
Wait, something we really need to talk about. Quick, episode 3. How is Davos alive?
He did nothing the whole episode.
He
watched
wasn't even
Arya-
hiding. He was in the middle of the shit.
Plot armor. I mean, that's how everyone's alive. Plot armor. Brienne was buried up to her neck in zombies. Like,
How'd she not die?
Early.
She not even. She
Early
barely has a
on.
scratch on her.
plot armor. It's plot
Early
armor.
on.
Plot armor.
Don't get me back on episode 3. Just keep it at. We're about to get back there with these theories, but let's just keep it on my mind while we can.
Here we go. Anything else on the trailer? It was really fast. It's kind of...
Are we getting any deaths next episode? It's an hour and 20 minutes again. But so episode 5 is always the penultimate, the second to last episode is always the biggest episode. Battle of Blackwater, Battle of Winterfell, all that shit. Because you need the last episode to wrap things up.
And I think Amelia Clark or
Yeah.
somebody was like, number 5 is the one where you really need to buckle down and be in your chair for. So yeah, I don't think much happens. I think it's a lot of storyline
for
again.
5.
Yeah, it's a lot of conversations. It's a lot of the awkwardness between Jon and Dany. Maybe we get some more Sansa Tyrion. See where
Yeah, it's
that
not gonna be
storyline
much.
goes.
Maybe a death at the end of the episode.
See if see what Jamie does. Jamie's got a really big conflict on his hands right now.
What's this conflict? Are you talking about?
Who's he
what
fighting
he's
for
gonna
now?
do, what he's gonna
Who's he
do,
fighting
yeah.
for? It's if he goes back, does Cersei take him? Does she kill him? That could be. I think that's an interesting plot that will unfold.
So I think that's going to
He's definitely staying. He's definitely staying.
I don't know if it's a definite.
I think Bronn shows up this episode.
I think Bronn's going. Yeah, I'd agree.
This is Bronn's episode. If we get a death, it's one of Bronn.
I don't.
Or
I don't
Jamie
think
Tyrion.
Bronn.
I don't think
Bronn
I'll
is
talk about this
killing-
later, but I think Bronn shows up.
I think he shows up, and I do not think he is. He doesn't have to stay loyal to Cersei. Who gives a fuck? Why would he? Why would he need to? He doesn't care about King's Landing.
He
That's true.
Bronn is choosing the winning sides here. right? At first, obviously, Danny, she's got dragons. At this point, whichever side Bronn chooses, if they lose, he's fucked. If he chooses Cersei and they lose, dead. Danny kills her. If he chooses Danny and they lose, way worse than dead, whatever Cersei.
Right, so why not, honestly, take
Well,
your
they have
money,
no army
take your
left, so
money
he might
and
pick
and
Cersei.
run? I'd
Yeah,
take the
so
money.
maybe take the money and run, but I doubt it because then that doesn't.
Because
make a
if
good
Cersei
story.
lives, he's
well,
gonna kill him.
No, just because we'll never see him again, and that's a bad story. That would make the most sense for sure. That's what anybody in this actual situation would do is take the money and run. I don't think he's actually gonna do that. There's probably gonna be a weird, corny scene with him and Jaime and Tyrion.
I don't think
Maybe.
he kills
I don't know.
either of them.
I don't think so either. Here's going to be a point in episode 4 that I don't think a lot of people will realize. Nobody really knows, even now, maybe Sansa and Bran, like how much of a badass Arya is. Like nobody knows the shit she has done. And now everyone's going to know that she killed the Night King.
Yeah,
They're going to be like, what the fuck? How did you, like...
What
people
did
be
you
like-
do? How did you become who you are?
Exactly. Like,
yeah, aren't they wondering how all the Freys died too?
How
Like,
are they not talking? Well, so here's another thing. The phrase, they say all the... I don't want to talk about it. This is another flaw with the show. The Freys are not dead. The Freys hold River Run. So even if she killed all the Freys at the Twins, there's still Freys in River Run. But in the show, they don't address that at all. Like, Jaime wins River Run for the Freys. Then, like, the next season, Arya kills all the Freys. And they're like, all the Freys are dead, even though half of them are not there where she was. Don't want to get into it. Doesn't make sense.
But also,
Yeah, I mean,
Davos
you're getting into stuff that it's like a movie. When a book is made into a movie, there's not enough time to put every single detail into it.
No. I'm not saying she has to go kill the Freys at River Run. I'm just saying when Cersei and Jaime talk about it, I don't be like, the Freys are all dead. They're gonna wipe their family completely like they did to us.
Maybe they had
'Cause they're not-
maybe they had a big party and they were all there. Moving
How
on.
many Freys are
Moving
just all
on,
over the
moving
place?
on. Who gives a fuck about the Freys? They're nobodies.
I'm just saying another thing that people just like overlook in the show.
Right. Keep going.
But I think there's gonna be like a big like, what the fuck is up with Arya? How did she get like this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
they'll
agree.
probably-
I'd
that'd be a
definitely
cool
agree.
little thing,
Especially
like- And-
anyone who saw her going off with that staff.
So here's
Yeah,
the
so
thing.
Davos
Yeah,
saw that,
exactly.
he's gonna be like, yo, like, she's legit over here.
I think what would be really cool was Dany is having trouble winning over these Northern Lords. Jeff thinks that maybe she won them like by her battle, but I think the best move here, Arya doesn't want people to know she's a badass. That's like the opposite of what an assassin wants, is for people
Right.
to know you're a badass. I could see.
It's a little late. It's a little late now.
What are you talking about? Bran's the only one that saw it.
No,
If he
I don't
tells
think
Bran, don't tell anybody, and then just says, "Hey, Dany, let's say
I
you
don't
killed him
think
with your
she
dragon fire."
tells people. Oh, I was in Bravos. I studied with the many-faced god. I
Obviously
think she
not.
just says like, no, I just kill a lot of people. I'm just good at killing.
Maybe to like Jon and them, but I mean like she doesn't want the Northmen. She doesn't.
give a fuck about the North.
If people
probably
know you're an assassin, you're a horrible assassin.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
that's not
No
a
one
good-
knows she's a
What are you
fucking.
talking about? She doesn't care if
All right,
people know.
I'm not
Like,
what
what are you
talking to
talking about?
You're a douchebag.
It's like one of the main things for assassins. I think it'd be cool if she almost like tells Jon or Dany like, take this one, like claim it for you. I don't want this one.
Yeah, so, yeah, gets him
'Cause that-
behind him. That gets him roaring, like, yeah, we killed the Night King. Like,
Exactly. That gets what she wants. and gets what
Drogon
they want.
fucked him up. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat like the Dragonfire worked. Who knew? I don't know if they'll be able to play it off because like nobody's really near the Night King at the time. Like people probably saw him go in there, so who knows?
Because there's
But-
no witnesses besides Bran, and
Yeah,
he's
but-
already out there.
But people knew like Dany was still on her dragon, so like I don't know. So it would be tricky to pull that lie off, but I could see it.
I mean, that shit's always happened in history, you know? Fucking
Yeah.
changing.
Yeah, I mean Cersei like tells Joffrey like the first season like whoever wins the battle gets to write the history. They get to make it what they want. So it's kind of like exactly like this.
Timeout. You know all that bullshit you used to give me for when we'd get in an argument and all I would do is fucking just scream as loud as I could? That's
Yeah.
exactly what you just fucking did. So
Yeah, I
don't
just
ever
outdid
fucking
you.
say...
I just outdid you.
No, don't ever
You were
say,
trying to do
"Why
that
are
to
you
me.
fucking yelling?"
You were trying to do it to me, and I just outdid it.
No, I
won
fucking
up
didn't.
to it.
I was talking.
Can you guys stop fighting? I hate it when mom and dad fight.
I'm good. Jeff's the one that gets mad.
I'm not mad.
Wait, can
I
I,
just-
grab another beer?
I just win the fights.
You do
I
I kind of
not.
want another one.
No, you don't.
BRB.
No, you don't.
Okay, well, regardless, from here we're gonna be starting off with our fan theories, and Jeff, you have our first one, so why don't you get right into it?
All right. So first fan theory we're going to talk about comes from @JendyMarie. She wanted us from last episode to talk more about the Melisandre Arya conversation about the different colored eyes that she's going to close forever. So mainly being that she said green eyes and Cersei has green eyes. So let's just roll into what we think about what that means.
Just some information on these quotes. This quote happened in season 3, which at this point was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Dave and Dan in the 40-minute like explanation of the episode said that they knew Arya was going to be the one that killed the Night King 3 years ago. So Melisandre made that quote way before they knew Arya was going to be the one to kill the Night King. And if you actually listen to it, it says when she looks at Arya, she says, "I see many eyes in you, blue, green, brown."
No,
she's going to
no,
wear
no.
the face of many people.
I don't think that's what she says. I think she says closes.
She does. She says, "I see many eyes in you, blue, green." Listen, she says blue.
I know you're
she
wrong.
says brown, green, blue, green. She's like, eyes you will close forever.
She says she sees a darkness. I see a
I
darkness
see
in
a
you.
darkness in you.
And in that darkness, eyes seem staring back at me.
Right.
Brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes you will close forever.
I see a darkness in you. And in that darkness, eyes staring back at me. Brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes. Eyes you'll shut forever.
So she sees the eyes like in Arya's darkness. I think that means you're going to become a face changer and wear many faces. I think they pigeonholed that into meaning. I mean, they said in the post thing that when they wrote that line, they didn't know that Arya was going to kill the Night King. So
They did say that?
They said that that line was wrote in season 3, and they didn't know Arya was going to kill the Night King.
Yeah, they said like 4 years.
3 years ago, which would have been season 6. So I don't think it's I don't think it's crazy that Arya kills to kill Cersei. I think she's probably one of the most likely people, like top 3 probably. But and maybe they tie it into this prophecy, but I don't think it's because of what I just said. I don't think it was like meant as that.
I don't think Arya is going to kill Cersei simply because she's already killed the Night King.
Yeah, I mean
They need to give
how it
somebody
is.
else some.
Yeah, but who's gonna be fucking
some glory?
Tyrion? I don't think Tyrion's gonna do it.
I don't think so. Going into
Maybe Sansa. That'd be dope.
But honestly, if it was a one-on-one combat, Sansa is getting destroyed by Cersei.
Well, no, I mean not one-on-one combat. Maybe Executioner. She takes a hint out of Ned's book and does it herself.
Yeah. That would be... It would be more like that, because... Like a Ramsay death, where he's tied up, and Sansa can be like, alright, dogs, eat away. She's not going to actually be like... You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Well, that kind of ties into my theory. Sorry to cut in, but... So possibly... I don't technically think this, but it's a good theory. Bronn actually does kill Jaime.
Okay.
And this pisses Brienne off. So Brienne... Whether Bronn hesitates while killing Tyrion or whatever, but Brienne kills Bronn out of rage, and then so either Arya uses Jaime's or Bronn's face, whichever she thinks will get her closer to Cersei, and then fucking kill her.
Here's the thing too. If Arya would kill the last main enemy via face swapping, it's not as cool.
I mean,
like when
I get it. It's kind of
a suicide death because the mountain's gonna be there. Everyone's gonna be around her. She can.
No. When she tricked the phrase, it was like, okay, you're cool. That was faceless man deal. But when we're talking about how Hollywood it is now, they're not going to be like, oh, Jaime stabs her, and oh, it was Arya, and series.
I see what you're saying, but like one of the complaints about Arya killing the Night King is like Jon should have been the one to kill the Night King. He's the one with all the background with the Night King. He's the one who fought them all the times. Like went through this whole arc to learn how to kill. Like his whole arc is about killing the Night King. And Arya's arc isn't about killing Cersei, but she's one of the main people on Arya's list, and it is about.
She's been on the list from the beginning.
Yeah, it is about, and her arc is about like learning this special set of skills that like lets her be a crazy assassin. And was all that just to kill Walder Frey? I mean, I get she uses the skills to kill the Night King too, but like the face swapping thing is like seems like the main part of that. I don't know. It just seems like she hasn't used that for what she learned it for, like plot wise yet. Maybe it was just Walder Frey, but who knows? I think we're gonna see at least one more face swap from Arya.
She's gotta. I mean,
I don't think it's going to be. If anything, I could see it being to gain reconnaissance, to go behind enemy lines and just talk to people.
That'd be cool.
And
I hope it's not a main character, because I agree. I think we already wore out the wearing another main character's face with the Walter Frey. But like if she could sneak in and be like Cersei's handmaid or something like that and pull some trickery. So let's talk about another Cersei prophecy while we're on it. The Valonqar. One of you guys want to say, like, tell us what this is? It's from the books, not in the show, but a lot of people think it's going to roll over to the show because of how important it is in the books.
Go ahead, go.
So in the books, Cersei goes to the Woods Witch with that girl and tells her the prophecy that she's going to have 3 kids, gold in their hair, gold in their shrouds or whatever. Or crowns and shrouds.
Yep, and that part is the same. That's actually in the show.
Yeah, but they also talk about how the Valonqar is going to kill her, and Valonqar means younger sibling. So
yeah, younger brother.
Is it well? Isn't it Valyrian? So
I
it could
guess
be brother
Valyrian
or
is,
sister.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess nobody really thought of that, because that's a really good point. Because with this Valonqar prophecy, everybody's like, "Oh, younger brother. That means Jaime or Tyrion." But also, another main theory for the younger brother thing is, oh, maybe younger brother doesn't mean her younger brother. It just means like anybody's younger brother. So technically, like the Hound would be a great candidate, right? Younger brother. But if it
younger sister.
That's a great point. I kind of really like that now. In the books, I don't think the Valonqar is going to bleed into the show, because the show doesn't even address prophecies that they actually bring up, like the prince that was promised. That kind of just gets dropped. So I don't think they're going to address prophecies that they don't bring up. But who the hell knows? But that is a really cool point. I like that. That it's since it's gender neutral, it could mean little sister and technically could be Arya. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even going into the more of the prophecy thing, we don't know if they're even talking about a Lannister sibling, which I think is something that's like, oh, it's got to be Tyrion or Jaime, and really,
Could be anyone.
we know it won't be Jon because he's not the youngest sibling, right? He's one on his own.
Well, no, he's a Targaryen. He's the younger brother of Rhaegar.
No, he's Rhaegar's son.
No, Dany's Rhaegar. Oh, you're right.
We're just saying any typical. Yeah, but what if it's a dual thing? Arya's wearing Jaime's face.
No,
So it's a
fuck
younger
that.
brother and the younger sister
Well,
at the same time.
Wait, hold on. Back to Jeff's thing, because you're right. He is Rhaegar's son, but Rhaegar did have 2 children before Jon, so he is a little brother.
Yeah, one was
I
a male,
guess.
I think.
And Dany is a little brother or a little sister. So everybody is little.
Everyone's
except
fair
for,
game.
Like, everybody's fair game except for the Hound or the Mountain. Which I don't think.
Does Brienne have any siblings?
No, I think she's an only child. But again, this prophecy might
Brienne
not mean
the
anything
beauty.
in the show. But here's a Cersei theory I heard today online. I really like it, and I don't know how far they'll go. Cause this briefly before how one of the Lannisters could be a Mad King daughter based, or Mad King's child based on how comments the Mad King made about Tywin's wife and such. But there are a lot of parallels between Cersei and the Mad King. The Mad King, when he starts going crazy, locks himself in the Red Keep, refuses to leave. The only time he leaves in like the last 20 years of his reign is to go to the tourney at Harrenhal, which is kind of like a big important thing. But he keeps guards on his son day and night. Because he starts to go crazy, then he has a son. And it makes him go normal again. Like, he is totally cool. Then his son dies. And that's when he really goes off his rocker. This is the Mad King. Some little background history. I'll go through it quick. He goes off his rocker. He has all his guards, all the king's guards, completely be around his last surviving child all the time. Cersei does the exact same thing. When there's a part where Jaime comes in. She's like, how many men are on Tommen right now? And he's like, Sir Barris Blunt has the door. And she's like, so 1. I want 4 day and night on Tommen with him all the time. She starts stalking fire. In the book, she burns the Tower of the Hand, and it makes her horny. And that's And in the books, we learn that when Mad King Aerys burns people, that was the only time he would ever go to his wife's bed. It was right after he burned somebody, because it was like burning people made him horny. Same with Cersei. We see it in the show. After she tortures Olaria Sand by like kissing her daughter with the poison, first thing she does is goes and fucks Jaime. She has like a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of times where her eyes are described like as wildfire, especially in the books. Like Sansa and Jaime both think that her eyes look like pools of wildfire. So I could see it.
There's definitely not enough time in the show to drop that bomb.
Again, like Bran Bran has to do something, right? Like, he has
Bran
to reveal a
is
bomb.
worthless.
He has done nothing.
I'm starting to believe you more and more, but I can't believe that they're gonna have him stay that way. Like,
Honestly, like, there's not even a thing I could think you could use Bran for right now.
he's got to drop a bomb on us. He can
His
see everything.
power means nothing.
He could see if Cersei had a different mom.
What does that matter, though? Honestly,
Or a
like,
different
what
dad.
would that matter?
Maybe it drives Cersei mad. I don't know.
I don't think I should be like, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I mean, honestly, like, oh no, now I can't be the queen anymore. She just walk away.
Well, so here's
exactly. I mean, she's still gonna keep going.
here's a big thing that I really hope doesn't like this, but people are saying we're not gonna be happy with the ending. Why does Jaime kill Aerys?
Because
To
he's
save
gonna
his family.
make
So
him kill his dad,
but what does Aerys say right before Jaime kills him?
Burn them all.
burn them all.
He literally commands his hand, who is the pyromancer. Think about it. Everybody leaves Aerys except for his hand, who is a crazy pyromancer. In the books, Cersei tries to appoint a pyromancer as hand, and they don't let her do it, so she appoints Qyburn.
Yeah.
But now Qyburn is her hand. She's literally the only, like, it's like the same with the Mad King. He has one person he trusts, and it's just Qyburn. And Jaime says that the Mad King had said, I would rather have Robert be
city
the king
in
of the ashes.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to be the king of Seven Kings, he's going to be the king of the ashes. And Tyrion says, like, they use that quote from the books in the show, and Tyrion says that to Dany and says, you don't want to be queen of the ashes. You want to
I
be
see
queen
all
of
the
kings."
parallels, and I think it kind of can lead you to like not liking Cersei because of those parallels. But I don't think it'll have to do anything with her parenting.
Well, it's just cycles. The show and books are all about how history repeats itself. It doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter the family. It's going to happen again somewhere else.
So, like, you're right. Say you're right, and we don't find out who she is. I could see her pulling a Mad King Aerys, and because Dany says she will not torch King's Landing with dragons because she doesn't want to be Queen of the Ashes. So if Cersei's about to lose, she's going to torture it herself, just like Mad King Aerys did.
Yeah, that's very true. She would
Right?
definitely order.
She
that.
has to have a fallback plan like that.
I could see her doing that. But then again, who really cares about King's Landing?
There's a million people there. More
Yeah,
people
fuck.
in King's Landing than the
No,
entire North.
I understand that there's a lot of people in King's Landing, but other than the throne actually being in King's Landing, Jon Snow doesn't want to be south. Dany would probably be happier at Dragonstone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, the actual geographic... Like, if Cersei would say, alright, let's burn this whole deal, she'd probably be okay with winning the war.
You think, how would she win from that?
Daenerys, you're saying?
Daenerys. Or
Oh.
whoever wins after
Daenerys doesn't care
Cersei
about-
blows it
yeah.
up. I mean, honestly, Jon would... If Jon's
Rebuild
alive,
it.
he's going back north, and he's probably going to leave someone in King's Landing and be like, alright, rebuild it, it'll be a minor castle town now. Dany would probably be like, alright, I'm going to Dragonstone, or I'm going to go to the north with Jon because I love him, because she said that in episode 2.
She did. She
Um,
did.
So,
Because I love him. I love you. I love you.
You don't think John would hang out down south? I mean, I just realized that talking about this, what we
absolutely
missed.
not.
He lived on the wall.
Yeah, but a big part of episode 4, which we totally forgot because of this huge battle, is Dany just found out who Jon really is. Who is everybody else? Like, do they keep that? Who finds out next episode?
Nobody.
They keep it to themselves?
Yeah.
Arya, Sansa, and Davos. I bet.
Yeah,
are the
but
only ones
I
that
feel
find out.
like, why would Bran tell him and be like, "Yo, we need to do this. It's time to do it."
I don't even know if
It doesn't make sense.
I
Unless
don't-
Bran knew,
yeah,
like,
I don't know.
fucking up the relationship would fuck up the plan somehow.
So, I don't think this is very likely, but I think, and I don't think they have enough time, so I don't even know how it would be possible, but some of the stuff, and again, maybe it just doesn't make sense because they didn't think about it and it doesn't have to make sense, but Melisandre makes a big deal about when Beric sacrificed himself for Arya. Like, he fulfilled his purpose. This is why R'hllor brought him back 5 times.
So you think
he
R'hllor's purpose
so he could be here to defend Arya. Why did he bring Jon back?
to be king of the...
To get the fucking... He's the one that recruited everyone to fight against the
So
Night King.
I've heard that theory, but the argument against it is, who does he get? He goes
Get
down and
Daenerys.
meets... Yeah, so he goes down and meets Dany. Dany gives him a dragon. Like, it's almost like and then she loses all her Dothraki and 90% of her Unsullied immediately. Like, if she's not there, does it make a big difference?
I think so, because they hold them all for a while and gives them time to kill the Night
But
King.
Dany's army, the Unsullied and the Dothraki, don't do much. Dothraki do nothing. The Unsullied hold the line so they can light the trench.
Dothraki do
That's
nothing.
And then the Unsullied sacrifice themselves down. We'll see how many are left. But
I think the Unsullied did more than you're saying. Cause
yeah, they kill people. But again, it's not like they were getting close to defeating the entire army. Like, that's not how they were about to win this. They won because Arya snuck in. They just bought time.
Yeah, exactly. They bought time for the Night King to go attack Bran.
That's all anybody did was bought time.
That's what the whole plan was, basically. Like, draw out the Night King and try and kill him.
So another thing that makes no sense in this episode 3, real quick, going back to Jeff's main point about like why fucking kill Bran. I don't care about. I still think I get why they're going after Bran, but why send in the guy who, if he dies, everyone else dies? Like, the Night King should be nowhere near this battle.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
what
I mean,
said
all those.
episode 2.
Yeah, I mean, let's not
Put a
talk
general
too much
on the
about
dragon.
episode 3.
Yeah, too much episode 3, but whatever. So
Let's go into the next theory.
Is there any chance that a Night King, that type of threat, comes back?
No.
So you don't think we're getting... One of our viewers, Nick Wilson, wrote in about Azor Ahai. Like, what's this prophecy? The prince that was promised, Azor Ahai. Do we just not get that then?
Done.
I don't
There's
think
no
so.
need for it. There's no need for it.
gone.
Azor Ahai and Lightbringer was to stop the army of the undead. They're stopped.
So is the Catspaw dagger Lightbringer? No way. Like, it
No,
has none of the
doesn't-
same characteristics.
I don't think it mattered. I think it's a dead prophecy in the show.
So
I think it sucks. I think it would have been cooler. Like, all right, Melisandre walked off into nothing.
she literally brought this up to Dany last season.
Right.
Like, episode 2 last season.
Like, even if it was a temporary Azor Ahai that only lasted for the Battle of Winterfell, but like, she's like, John, you need to kill me. I think we talked about this in episode 2. John kills Melisandre, Lightbringer. He at least can do something in the battle because he did nothing.
Yeah.
And he's a lot cooler of a character, and he fulfills that prophecy. But I don't think we're going to get anything else for that.
It's just weird because I've heard theories about, like, Brienne is Azor Ahai, Jorah is Azor Ahai, Jaime is Azor Ahai, Dany, Jon. I've heard different theories where all these different people are Azor Ahai, and I feel like you don't even have to explain it. Just have one of those 5 people be the one to get the final kill, and the fans will make it work. You know, they'll be like, oh, well, Jaime had lost his hand, and Jojen had his hand on fire in the tower, and that means, like, they'll make shit work. But Arya, there's literally no connections to Azor Ahai or Lightbringer at all. So it just kind of...
Nope.
It's weird that they introduced it last season, right? That's the first time the Prince of the Promise was introduced in the show at all, was season 7, too. I don't think anybody had mentioned it before
Melisandre
that.
said there's going to be... When she talks
She
about
talks
Stannis.
about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Episode-
she talks about it.
Episode 1, Season 2.
She brings it up a lot when she's with Stannis. She keeps saying that Stannis is the prince that was promised in the show too, throughout that season.
Next thing about this, we're kind of on the fan theories that are...
Fan theories / questions.
You have some fan theories, right, that you got written in?
Yeah, they're more of questions or debates to talk about. So like, King Maximus asked what Bran was actually doing in episode 3. I know we should talk about
At King Maximus, absolutely nothing. He was a waste. He was literally flying around in crows doing nothing, because that's what he is, worthless.
So I read a theory today that actually Bran is the Lord of Light or whatever, and he brings back fucking Jon. He brought back Beric, and he basically gave Melisandre the power to fucking light the trench on fire. I don't know how I feel about it.
I think that is the most far-off theory I've ever heard.
I heard a way
But,
more
like-
likely theory that when Branson the Gods Wood warged out, after the Raven part, he wargs into somebody distant away and watches Endgame because it's way more entertaining than whatever the fuck's going on in this stupid battle.
I have seen that before, yeah. That's a good movie.
What is he doing? He's doing nothing. Jeff's so right. I hate when Jeff. I hate being wrong, and I hate even more being wrong when Jeff is
Can
right.
I get that clip sent to me like
There
via
might be
something
not-
so I can just
there
play
might-
it all the time?
There may be nothing worse than when Jeff's right. And I really hope that we spin this around and the Night King comes back to life. Turns out Bran was actually evil. Like, I heard a theory that Bran was actually the bad guy the whole time, and that's why the Night King is coming up and doesn't say anything. He just takes his sword out and is going to, like, kneel and, like, pledge him his sword. Again, I don't buy it, but I just didn't like the end of that Night King so much that I kind of want a surprise he's back. And there's a new Azor Ahai. I don't think we're going to get it, but it's kind of what I want. And again, it goes back to the Azor Ahai thing. And there was the other question you had, Glow, from, I think you had another write-in.
Oh, yeah, from Wes, Wes Wynn. He was asking, which one are you talking? Oh, the spirals. What the spirals mean and like how they affect the Night King and all that.
So again, is this just something they introduced to never resolve?
Well, so when they change the original guy into the Night King, they are standing in the spiral formation or something set up in the spiral formation.
Yeah, so the tree where he is tied up and gets the dragon glass dagger put in his heart, which turns him. When that happens, there's an above ground view of it, and there's the weirwood tree, and coming out from it are big. It's almost like Stonehenge type rocks, but they're coming out in a spiral from the tree.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't give me shit. Like, that doesn't tell me what it's about. And so there's a main theory, and this is what I'm buying in. The reason we didn't find anything out about the Night King is because there's a prequel series coming out next year about the Long Night, and if we know why the Night King is here and what he's after, then there's nothing for that prequel to be about. So a lot of people think HBO was like, yo, don't actually tell him why he's here. We're doing that next year. So they were just like, oh, okay, we'll just kill him without him saying anything or knowing anything. But so maybe we'll learn about the spiral in that. I hope so. Like, I hope stuff happens. I don't know.
I think the spiral has to do with their magic somehow, and maybe it deals with the white magic in general, because, I mean, maybe he made that spiral formation somewhere out in the battlefield and was able to raise the dead because of it or something like that.
I think I just don't want to admit that I've, like, gone through, like, the show, like, rewatching, looking for spirals, and, like, watched 40 hours of videos online analyzing what this spiral could mean, all for it to mean nothing, which is, I guess, where we're at. Just like, how much time have I wasted looking up Azor Ahai prophecies that don't fucking matter, looking up what the spiral means that don't fucking matter. Like, they're introducing stuff and not. I mean, they have not disappointed me yet. They've strayed from the show, but they haven't disappointed me. Oh, my bad, I misspoke. They have strayed from the books, but they haven't disappointed me yet. So I'm not upset. I think they're going to kill it and finish it out, but we got to get some surprises. Like, they got to resolve some of this stuff somehow. And I get it doesn't make sense that the Night King's gone, but we got to get some resolution to some of it. So I hope we find out what the spiral is. I hope we find out what Bran was doing. I hope we find out something about Azor Ahai. Those three things. Like, we got to get some resolution. Now that the thing that they're tied to, the Night King, the White Walkers are gone, are we just never going to hear any of those again?
I think the only thing we have left with the White Walkers, they're gone. They're gone. I think the only thing we have left for Bran is he's going to make the last push for Jon being a Targaryen. That's his main thing left, I think.
I don't understand why. What's the point of it? Does he think that he's going to bring peace to Westeros? Like, why is he going to push for that, though?
Why would he? Because it's right. It's the right thing. Because it's what they believe. You know, having the rightful heir is something that they all believe in, so I think that's why. But I think it's pretty stupid, honestly. I don't like Bran at all. I think Bran is stupid.
So another thing I heard, I didn't notice this, but I heard it in another, like, when somebody was talking about the trailer for the next episode. The snow looks less than it has in the first couple. Is winter gone now? Like, is winter going away because the Night King is dead? It was literally winter for a week. The whole winter is coming. It lasted for a week. And it's not. I'm not like.
I think that's another show thing or Hollywood thing. I think.
So I'm not trying to rag on it for that. I'm just saying, like, I think one of the theories I mentioned to you guys earlier, and it was a crackpot theory, but like, does this end with, like, we get an endless summer that fucks up the world because you need balance? Like, is that what this is about?
Winter's coming. Winter's always coming.
So you don't think you think there's still going to be winters in Westeros even without the Night King?
I think, just think about Jon being, all the Northerners being in King's Landing for this next battle, and it being hot as shit. You know, and they're like, all they have is furs and...
Well, so that's what I'm saying. When Jaime left King's Landing at the last episode of Season 7, there was a snowflake. Is that just not happening now because the White Walkers are dead? That's what I'm saying. Like, it should be winter in King's Landing.
No, I think that was what they were calling, like,
because winter lasts for years.
Right. I think that was like a spring snow.
They're going into winter. It can't be a spring snow.
Yeah, I guess you're right. A fall snow. Huh.
So another thing about
King's Landing. It should be the dead of winter.
Another thing about King's Landing, quick, that we didn't touch on. Euron lost Yara. Asha. What is she called in the show? Yara, right?
Yara.
So,
in the show.
is Cersei pissed? Like, people think Cersei's gonna be pissed. I don't think Cersei gives a fuck. Like, she's not useful.
Maybe that's why he's on his knee, like he's trying to beg for forgiveness.
Maybe, but again,
does
like,
she even know who she is?
like, how much is Yara worth, like, in a political battle right now? Like, there's two sides. Good, like, Dany, Cersei. Like, she can't.
Well, here's the thing. Now she's definitely going to come back and join the next fight. She'll be in the next fight.
Yeah.
Yara Greyjoy. We haven't seen.
She doesn't have to be worried.
Yeah, but
about
I
the
mean,
dead.
like, is there a reason for Cersei to get mad that she was?
No, I don't think she even knew of her.
She might just be.
Well,
like,
no. Euron brought her into the throne room on a leash when he brought in the Sand Snakes, and then he took her
Right.
out. But again, like, I don't think Cersei gives a fuck about her. So, like, will she care? Maybe
I
not.
could
but
see
Euron
her
will probably
being
pissed.
like, "What are you, like, weak as shit? You can't even keep a girl that was chained up in chains."
That's a good point. Like, she just, like, uses it as a way to diss Euron. I
Yeah.
definitely think that's a good call. But, like, why does Euron care about her anyway? He's not going to kill her. He literally just said, like, you're the only person I can talk to because I cut out the tongues of all my crew. Like, it just doesn't
He
make
kind
sense.
of hinted at raping her too.
Yeah, I mean,
He's like, yeah, it
fucked up.
gets lonely on the boat.
Yeah.
I do think it was cool that he finally talked about his crew being
Mutes.
all mutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little book reference for us.
Let's move on.
Let's talk about one more theory that we think is going to happen. Clegane Bowl.
Okay.
This isn't
Yep.
a fan thing. This is just something that everybody's kind of rooting for. Jeff, how do you think Clegane Bowl goes down? Just literally 1v1? Is it in the midst of battle,
In the
or is it like
midst
a
of-
trial by combat?
And I think I said this when we last talked about the theories. It's going to be happening in the midst of everything going on.
Yeah, I think Sandra's gonna basically like look for him and go after him.
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing the Hound die. I kind of want the Mountain to win.
I think that would be awesome. I think it would be awesome. So I think
Everybody wants the Hound to win.
here's what I want. People like love when the show pays off shit that was said earlier. Arya told the Hound to his face. I think after he killed the people and stole their gold or something, he's like, "One day I'm gonna put a sword through your eyeball and out the back of your head." And then she just turns and walks away.
Someday, I'm gonna put a sword through your eye and out the back of your skull.
I hope the Mountain does something to the Hound, cuts off his leg. He's dead, and he gives like Arya like, "Give me mercy," like the same thing that happened the first time after Brienne, like, "Let me die." And now that Arya has trained with the Faceless Men and learned that death is a gift, not punishment,
Yeah.
she just right in the eye. I mean, that's if I was begging someone to kill me. The Hound told her where the heart was, so I would assume that's where she would stab him. But I want that payoff for when she told him, "I'm gonna stab you in the face."
I'm gonna stab you in the eye.
Yeah.
If he kills the Mountain and is mortally wounded and asks for it, I wouldn't hate it because I
Okay,
want
so-
him to kill the Mountain. I
All right,
don't want him
Jeff.
to.
Jeff, question for you. You said you wouldn't be too happy if Arya kills Cersei because she already got this big kill.
I
What
wouldn't.
if-
Hold on. I don't think it's going to happen. I love Arya. I would like to see Arya do all the coolest shit in the world.
Do you but you don't think so because you think she already got her payoff. Do you think maybe what I'm saying happens? Mountain starts to win the battle. Arya ends up killing the Mountain, and then can't save the Hound, so gives him the gift too.
I'd be cool with that.
I think that would happen. I think
I'd
that
be
could
cool
happen.
with that.
I can see that.
Both Cleganes don't make it out of this season.
Neither
And
of them?
I think the odds that
Neither
both
of them live.
the odds that both of them die is the highest.
So we need. Hopefully, the Hound dies next episode. Mountain the episode after.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Dies of his wounds.
That's some wounds. What if
He
we get
lived
a
a-
cold open on like Brienne dead? Like somehow she died of her wounds. We like when she was getting attacked, she was actually getting fucked up. And we just didn't see it.
Episode 3.
Yeah, it starts off
Episode 3.
That's my squad, I think.
I don't know.
So
Jeez.
no, that counts. What is that? Does that count as episode 3?
Yeah, no doubt. If she's dead at the start of
I
episode
think
4,
it
that means
should
she
be
died
3.
in episode 3. Yeah.
I think it would be 3.
If anyone is dead at the beginning of episode 4, they died in episode 3.
No.
I would agree with
Yeah,
Jeff
I
on
guess. I guess
Where did they fucking die?
of
If
their
the-
wounds after the battle.
In
in
episode
between.
3.
In
In
between,
episode
but they were
3.
alive
that.
at the end
I
of
will
3.
call it episode 3.
Yeah, we'll say
I would-
episode 3. I don't think there's gonna be any of that, but we'll say episode 3.
No way. They would have given him a good death.
Yeah.
Okay.
They gave Ed a cool death. They're not going to give Brienne or Sam or someone a cool death.
Here's another thing: when all those dead come back, like the Dothraki guy gets on the dragon, but like, does anybody fight Ed?
Nope.
Who else
Not
comes
at all.
back?
We don't. Lyanna.
Does anybody fight her?
Nope. We don't see any of them. That's all
Yeah,
we
we
see.
don't
It's
see
their
'em.
eyes turn.
That's all our fan theories. The last thing that I want to talk about, and there's one fan who wrote in about this topic, was who wins it all. From where we're at now, we're halfway through the show. We've seen the Battle of Winter of the Night King, the Long Night. You guys don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's coming back either. I hope so, but I don't think so. I want that. I just want a surprise. I want to be.
If
surprised.
he comes back, it would ruin what Arya did. It would take away maybe the coolest snapshot of the series.
I mean, if he just stands back up and everybody else is alive, then yes. But if there's like, oh, Bran was actually the bad guy the whole time, or when you stab somebody with the cat's paw, you suck in the Night King's soul, and then when she goes to kill Cersei, she becomes the new Night King, or like some bullshit like that. Just I want something to surprise me.
If we found out that Bran was, oh wow, it was Bran the whole time. Bran is a crippled in a wheelchair that can do nothing but see into the past and fly crows around.
Well, okay, I'm not.
You find out
disagreeing
he's
with
the bad guy, you kill him. They are like, all right, well, fuck it. Bran's dead now.
I
We have to
can't
kill him.
disagree with you about Bran anymore because you've just been right every time and I've been wrong about him being useful.
It doesn't matter.
But he says so.
It
The
doesn't
thing about
matter
the thing about Bran is he says at one point, I think when they're in the War Council, like, I'm the Three-Eyed Raven. He's been trying to kill me since the beginning of time. Like, he's not Bran anymore. Bloodraven warged into him in that cave, and Bran is gone. He's completely gone now. Now it's the consciousness of whoever was a Three-Eyed Raven when he warged in. I believe there was a Three-Eyed Raven beginning of time. He just keeps calling. He knows when the next one is alive, calls him to him, wargs into him, and then just keeps repeating that process. So I think Bran is his consciousness that's existed forever and ever and ever and ever.
Probably.
So we don't know his intentions. We think Bran's a good guy because he's in Bran's body who's a good guy.
Fuck Bran.
I see what you're saying.
I was talking to
I'm
somebody
not saying
about how he just flips his personality, basically. Like, all of a sudden, he just starts talking, ooh,
yeah, it's because he gets warped.
I'm not Bran anymore. That's what I'm saying. So it's like a flip.
Yeah,
He
and I don't
turned
think
into
this
their-
is. I don't think this is likely, just because I don't think we have enough time to get into this kind of mystic shit in the show. But I want something like that, you know. So last thing, who wins it all? Who sits
Hold
on the
on.
Iron Throne?
Before we talk about this, really quickly, Melisandre told Varys he needs to die in the strange land. Is that dying in what's going to happen next, or is that you're living and then you're just going to die?
Yeah, it's
as
as
like-
list. All men must die at some point.
Right. Is he just going to die at the end, like in old age, in the future? You know what I mean? Like he's just like the next Hand of the King. Like if Tyrion dies and he becomes Hand, and then he's going to die in the strange place, but not in battle or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think cool to think about. He's not going to be in any
someone's-
battles. Someone's going to have to go out and try and find him to kill him. You know, he'll be in the crypt. He was one of the only men in the crypt.
Yeah, what does anyone really have like a grudge against him? Maybe Cersei, like she wants to kill everyone though.
Qyburn gets the little birds to kill him.
But that already happened with fucking what's his name?
Maester Pycelle. Moving on. All right, who's gonna win? Glow, give it to us.
I don't want to go first. All right, who's gonna win? Jeff, give it to us.
So any major predictions and who you think's gonna win at the end?
Major prediction. I still got to put it out there. I need Nymeria.
Okay.
I need Nymeria to do something cool because we've got nothing from Ghost except that he ran out there. Give me a direwolf doing something sweet, please.
So on Jeff's
no,
predictions, he's got
Nymearia's
Nymeria.
done.
He's got Clegane in battle. I'm counting that as a Jeff prediction. I don't think that's gonna happen like that.
And you need to give me a third.
Well, whatever you want. If you can take whatever you want. I don't
I'll
know
give
if I'm
you
gonna
one
have
more.
Oh, yeah, your third is who wins it all.
My third, who's going to win it all? I think Nelson's prediction of Sansa and Tyrion is gaining traction.
No way.
Definitely is.
I think that was basically off the table as soon as John and Danny lived last episode. As soon as they both make it through that episode, there's no way that happens.
Daenerys
in my
wins.
head.
Daenerys wins it all. She sits the Iron Throne.
By herself, not married to John.
Mary. They're gonna set up a democracy. It's gonna be a government. No more monarch.
So wait, you didn't answer the question. Does she marry John?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I could see that
How
if she
many
doesn't
fancy
marry
beers?
John. But if she does marry John, then they're going to have a kid, and I don't think they're going to be up for a democracy where their kid just gets shown up.
She's gonna marry John, but John is just
Shooting blanks?
no. He's just not king. No, I don't know. I don't want Dany to die. I don't give a fuck how it happens. Daenerys is sitting on the Iron Throne. Next.
Okay.
All right, I'll go this time. All right, so my 3 predictions right now. So I'm gonna stick with my Arya kills Cersei, or so Bronn kills Jaime, and then Arya kills Cersei with the Jaime mask.
I would stop watching the show immediately if that happened.
I would love it. Mid battle, she just sneaks off and does it.
I think that's the stupidest thing that could happen.
2, Daenerys dies. I think she's gonna die. And then I don't know when, maybe episode 5, big battle, she gets shot down with one of those fucking big arrow things. But I think Jon sits on the Iron Throne in the end. But, like you guys said, it's going to be democracy. He is too wildling now. He wants the people to choose the leader. That's how he believes, and then that's how he's going to continue it on from after his...
There's going to be an election every summer. Every new summer there's an election.
That's not a bad idea. There you go.
Not a bad idea, but if... I don't think that system works in Westeros because Westeros is so corrupt. Say Cersei is the one that's queen, and now she's up for re-election. Who counts the tokens? The fucking government does.
Come on. The night is darkest just before the dawn.
Okay. So, my 3 predictions.
I mean, how do we start democracy, though? So, that's...
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere.
I mean, if Dany is infertile, married to Jon, they can't have kids, and they need a successor. That's how you start a democracy.
Someone's told
That's
me
not what I
they-
think's gonna end. But
Someone said that they think Daenerys is pregnant right now. What if one of the things that happens, and I'm going 4th prediction, Dany's is pregnant right now? Hold on. There's something major that could happen right now that we haven't talked about at all, and it just came to my mind. So, if it doesn't fit here, and you need to move it somewhere, I think we're going to see Daria Naharis again.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Twofold. She needs men.
Yeah,
she needs men.
She needs men. She's gonna hit up Marine and be like, "Yo, we need people over here."
What happens when... Are we going to get a Dario-Jon deal?
A fight, or I think it's just gonna be side comments.
I want Dario to kill Jon now.
No, fuck that.
I want Dario to kill Jon, and I want
Daenerys
Dany
kill
to
him
roast
on the spot.
Dario alive with her dragons for doing it. That's awesome. I didn't think about it. I want that. I thought that Dario was coming back, but I didn't even think about the thought that there would be like a Jon Dario.
He's a dickhead.
rivalry.
He's not that big of a dickhead.
I think here's the thing. I don't think Jon would be upset with it because I think he'd be like, you know what? She is my aunt. She's all yours. It's kind of weird.
No way. We're talking about, other than Miss
We still don't know
Sunday-
if they're gonna be okay with that.
Other than Miss Sunday, we're talking about the girl of the realm. Come on. Miss Sunday is the top alpha female.
All right, my 3 predictions. Yeah, I didn't think about this. First one. I'm a huge Qyburn fan. In the books, I think Qyburn's really fucking up to something. And even in the show, I don't think he's up to something. Because I think in the books he's tied to the Dornish, and I don't think the Dornish are going to show up. But I like Qyburn. Even if it's just a bunch more scorpions. My first prediction is, I think Qyburn is going to pull something out of his sleeve. Out of his maester's hidden pockets in his sleeve. Whether it's like a new, better version of Scorpion 2.0, or just like, there's a million Scorpions.
Do you think they bring wildfire into their battle plans? They have to, right? Or did they use it all? They burned the whole sept with it.
I think if there's any wildfire, it'll be what I said, where Cersei's using it as like fingers on the button. You kill me, we're dead, type deal. So yeah, first prediction: Qyburn's pulling something out of his sleeve. Dragons are dying. At least Rhaegal. Maybe not Drogon, but at least Rhaegal.
I think there's going to be more dragons in the world after this battle.
No way.
So, like, one of them, aren't they?
Yeah, unisexual or
unisexual, and they can make their own eggs or whatever. So I think definitely they continue on after this battle.
like bottlenose dolphins.
again, so a lot of my
Bottlenose
predictions are
dolphins.
based off.
They fuck
Which is
themselves.
actually, to clarify, bottlenose dolphins a male can't have a baby, but males have sex with each other when there's no females around. So they're really just will be gay at times. They're not going to reproduce. I was wrong when I said that the first time.
Wait, that was from Chuck and Larry, right?
Yeah.
Did
it
you
was
like
just-
research that?
Homo
Did
dolphins.
you research that after that podcast? Like, I hope I
Yes.
got my bottlenose dolphins facts right. Google.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Correction to previous episode.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got our facts straight. Bottlenose dolphins are just gay/bi, not.
Yeah, they just want to get diddled still.
Okay. So back to the dragons. I think, again, maybe this is based off the book, my thoughts on the books, but a main part in, and it's in the show too, is Dany doesn't know what to do with these dragons. Like, she cannot rule while there's dragons flying around eating people. So I think it almost, like, I like the fact that maybe more dragons, but I think the show started with no magic. There's no magic at all in the first season until Dany's dragons are born in the very last scene. Magic ramps up. I think now that the Night King's dead and one of the dragons is dead, magic is ramping down, and I think it's going to end like it started, where we're basically in just a medieval world with no magic. I think that makes the most sense because living in a world with dragons is literally just like living in a world with Apache helicopters that just sometimes blow up a house, right? Like, you can't control them at all. You know, so
They do in the books. They do talk about the dragons are back, and like all the red priests are
way
having
more
like
powerful. Yeah.
yeah, they're all feeling the power.
So
So that would make sense.
Drogon is pretty. I feel like I know they have to eat a fuck ton, but right now we haven't heard of him just
Eating
flying
people.
off and
You're right.
eating people in the north. They're feeding him sheep and goat. I feel like they'll.
I read a theory that was just a kid that the sons of
Yeah,
the
the
Harpy actually just burned
but yeah,
themselves.
yeah. So there's
and like paid this guy to act basically
They-
to fucking.
I
They
mean,
even
we
say
see
that.
Drogon come up on
in
the
the
fucking-
show we see him roast the kid, but in the books,
Yeah.
since it's only from Dany's perspective, people
Oh,
come
right,
every
right,
day
right.
and say
Right.
like your dragons ate this many of my goats, and then she pays them for it. And
Right.
she's like, how do we know that these people aren't just like butchering the goats and then burning the bones afterwards and then getting
Yeah.
double? So it could be something like that with the kid too, but in the show we see him get roasted. And these
Right.
even if it is fake, it's a possibility that these flying dragons were just gonna roast people.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
it's, and again, the show is big on not explaining how things work. So I could totally see like happy ending, dragons are flying away into the sunset. Like, don't worry about the people they're about to kill. You know. So I could see that ending with dragons. And my prediction is not that both dragons die, but Rhaegal's gone, fucked up. Qyburn's the reason. Like, he's behind it. Qyburn, whether it's he's got a billion scorpions or something, he has a new technique, a pit that they fall into.
kills Daenerys while she's on Drogon. Drogon
Rhaegal's
and
dead.
Daenerys die.
That's my first prediction.
Rhaegal lives. Rhaegal lives.
Fuck
He's the
Rhaegal.
more controllable one.
That's not true at all.
Second prediction, and Glow said Dany and John. Jeff says Dany.
No, I said John.
You said just
He
John.
said
Dany
Danny's
dies.
gonna die, which is just crazy.
I think it's crazy too, but I'm gonna go to mix it up. I'm gonna go with what I want: Tyrion, Sansa. Maybe a stupid pick. I think it would make the most sense, which is probably means it's the most likely to happen, judging on how they're going with the show so far, because
I could
nothing makes any
definitely-
sense. But
I
and
could
after that last
definitely see-
scene in episode 3, they talk about it.
Getting back together.
And-
The Dragon Queen would.
And my last
The Dragon Queen would ruin it when she dies.
my last prediction.
Tyrion's not the hand.
Last prediction. We see the mountain's face.
We kind of already did.
We see it better.
Nah.
If someone's gonna knock his helmet off, his helmet gets knocked off in Clue Game Bowl.
I don't know, but we see his
He's-
face.
I want to see your ugly face when I kill you, you
I
fucking
want
bastard.
to see him with Septa Unella again. I doubt we'll have it, but I want to see him just like
Pounding her out.
I want to hear I want to see her, and then I want to hear the door open and just like see her look and see him and just start freaking out, and then just cut
You-
away. Like, don't
you
even
know
show
what-
me him get closer. Just show me that she's fucked up.
You know what I wish the Hound
She's pregnant.
was able to
Unella, they have just like a little army of mountain babies that he's just been popping out of Unella. That would be nuts.
At this point, we lost Jeff's audio, but we're about to end up the episode anyway. There's only like 2 more minutes that we recorded without him, so we're just going to skip those and cut right to the end. So here's the outro.
But all right, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. We'll see you next time. We'll be back early Monday morning after Season 8, Episode 4. Don't forget to tweet at us or comment on our videos if you want us to talk about anything, any theories you have, or if you disagree with anything we said. And don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Good night, Westeros!